What if the sun disappeared for a day? Imagine waking up one morning to find the sun gone. What would happen in the next 24 hours? At first, you might not notice anything amiss. The earth would keep spinning. But about 8 minutes later, things would get weird. Suddenly, darkness would fall. This wouldn't be average nighttime darkness. It would be pitch black. You might wonder if your eyes were open or closed. Stars would appear. You'd see more than ever before. The Milky Way would stretch across the sky. The only humans unaffected would be astronauts on the International Space Station. They'd keep orbiting Earth, powered by solar panels that still work in space. Back on Earth, gravity would act strange. Without the sun's pull, our orbit would change. We'd fly off in a straight line through space at 67,000 miles per hour. You wouldn't feel it, but astronomers would freak out. The Earth wouldn't freeze instantly. Our atmosphere would trap heat for a while. The temperature would drop, but slowly at first. Plants would be the first to suffer. No sunlight means no photosynthesis. They'd stop producing oxygen and start to wilt. But we wouldn't suffocate right away. There's enough oxygen in the atmosphere to last quite a while. The weather would go haywire. With no sun to drive wind patterns, storms would fizzle out. The air would become eerily still. Clouds would hang motionless in the sky. Ocean currents would start to slow. These massive conveyor belts of water, driven by temperature differences, help regulate our climate. Without the sun, they'd gradually grind to a halt. What about electricity? Good news, it would still work. Power plants don't need sunlight to function. Cities would remain lit, a strange sight against the starry sky. As hours passed, temperatures would continue to fall. By the end of the day, it might be about 10 degrees Fahrenheit colder. Worldwide, we'd still see other planets for a while. Light takes time to travel through space. The planets reflect sunlight. This light would still be on its way to Earth. We'd see Mercury for about 5 minutes after the sun vanished. Mars would shine for about 12 minutes. Neptune would remain visible for about 4 hours. These planets would seem to twinkle out one by one. Animals would be seriously confused. Owls and bats could fly during the day. Birds might stop singing. They could think, it's time to sleep. Squirrels and deer might hide. They'd wait for daylight that never comes. Even insects would behave strangely. Bees wouldn't know when to return to hives. Butterflies would struggle to fly in the cold. The Earth would eventually become an icy dark place. We'd have to use artificial light and heat. Without plants, oxygen levels would slowly decrease. Carbon dioxide would build up. The air would get thinner over time. Humans would need to create artificial environments. We'd have to recycle air and water. Fossil fuels would run out eventually. The Earth's core would still provide some heat. This might keep parts of the planet habitable, but most of the surface would become too cold for life.